Today's readings place before us two ways of proceeding and ask us to choose one of the two. On the one hand is the way of the world, and on the other is the way of God. The world, not so much the external world, but the world with its values of self-centeredness. And so these two positions, these two standards are placed before us. And the world is inviting us to accumulate, to gather, to possess, to have. And when we have, people will respect us. People will bow down to us. People will appreciate us. People will salute us because we are men and women of great riches. Externally, we have so much. We have accumulated. So it is our riches, it is our accumulation, it is our possessions which they are actually saluting and respecting. And then, because we mistakenly think that they are actually saluting us and respecting us, we give in to the sin of pride. So our accumulation of our riches, our accumulation of our possessions leads to honor from others, and this honor, if we are not careful, will lead to pride. On the other side is the way of God. And God in Jesus, especially in the gospel text of today, from the Gospel of John chapter 6, verses 60 to 69, is placing before the people and his disciples his way, and his way is a way of generosity. His way is a way of giving up. His way is a way of detachment, of non-possession, of non-accumulation, of not gathering. It is a way of selflessness. And because it is a way of selflessness, and after some time you may not have very much, people will look at you contemptuously. They will look at you with contempt. They will have no regard for you. You will receive no honor whatever. And that response of the people will lead to humility, which is the greatest of all virtues. In the first reading of today, Joshua places before the people these two ways and asks the people, the elders of the people, the judges, and the whole congregation to make their choice. He says to them that God is not going to force them. God is not going to coerce them. God is going to leave them free to make the choice that they want to make. It is they who will make the choice. That is, the choice which the world is inviting them to continue to gather and to accumulate and to be selfish and so receive the honor of people and then leading to pride, or the way of community, where each is concerned about the other, where there is detachment from these material possessions, because of which there will be possibly contempt of the one who is generous and gives, which will lead them to humility and communion. And the people wisely choose the way of God. At the end of the gospel text of today, there are many who follow Jesus, who say to themselves, your way is too hard. We cannot travel the way of selflessness. We have to continue in our way of selfishness, and so therefore we will stop going with you. And they leave Jesus because while they were content to stay with him as long as their physical needs were being met, they will not continue to go with him if he does not take care of only their physical needs. They do not need any spiritual nourishment. They do not need any spiritual food. All they want is that their stomachs are filled. Jesus, of course, will allow them to go because he cannot only fill the stomach of an individual, he fills also the heart. And that is why, after the crowds leave him and choose the way of the world, he turns to his disciples, the 12, and asks them, will you also go away? What we notice in this question is that, like God, through Joshua, would not force the people, would not coerce them to choose a particular way. Jesus also leaves even his close disciples, the 12, free to make their choice. Peter, as a representative of the disciples, answers the Lord's question, saying that he and his companions realize that the Lord is all and in all. And it is only the Lord who can satisfy completely. And so Peter, along with his companions, has got nowhere else to go except to the Lord. These two standards, these two positions, these two ways are constantly being placed before us. A way which says to us that we need to accumulate, we need to gather, we need to possess for the future. That possession sometimes can lead to obsession. Our planning for tomorrow can lead to obsession because we have got so much that we do not know what to do with it. Very clearly, 1 or 2% of the world's population is controlling close to 90 and more than 90% of the world's wealth. What does it mean? Very clearly it means that these 2% have decided to follow the way of the world. They are the ones who have left Jesus and gone their own way because the teaching of Jesus was too difficult to accept. The world honors them. The world looks up to them. The world admires them, and that admiration and honor has led to pride in so many of them. On the other hand, there are those who have been generous, who have lived for this day and have given of all the excess which they have accumulated, and they are looked at with contempt and they are humble. We need to ask ourselves, because the Lord will not make the choice for us. The Lord will not make the decision for us. The Lord will keep asking us, will you also go away? Peter answered on behalf of the disciples, Lord, to whom shall we go? The people answered Joshua's question, saying that they would serve God and not the world. What will your answer